You're listening to Tassie Encounters Moments on Faith FM, and we're coming to you from Tasmania, right across Australia. Each weekday on Tassie Encounters, you can hear what the Bible says about past, current and future events. You can learn how to study the Bible more effectively. You can get to know who God is, why we're here, and where we're going. And you can experience personal encounters with Jesus. I'm your host, Jason Cook, and today Jeff Parker joins us back in the studio today. Welcome, Jeff.
It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back, Jeff, and we've been talking about engaging the next generation this week, and we'll do so today and the next 2 days as well. If you've missed an episode, you can catch up on the Faith FM website, faithfm.com.au. Search for our Tassie Encounters Moments program. It's under the listen menu, I think, on the website, or if you've got the app, you can browse to our programs there as well. It's a great way to catch up on our programs if you've missed it. Jeff, yesterday we talked about young people, some of the challenges that they face today, and why they may be disconnecting or disengaging from churches in particular and faith communities, but also even other types of communities. Sometimes it's challenging to have young people fully engaged in society, you know, with gainful employment and housing and all of the challenges that young people face.
And society is really fast-paced, and the younger person has all this information through their phone, their computer, that's just really ploughing through their heads that they got to deal with. And I guess if they walk into something like that's not relevant, they'll flick really quick and be gone. And I guess that's the kind of the same with what we are talking about here. We need to make sure that what we're doing, whether it's the church setting or outside of the church setting, if we want to be working with the younger generation, we need to make sure we're relevant.
Absolutely. We've got a number of things that we're going to cover this week, and you studied this for some years as part of your job and your educational pursuits. And one of the points that you looked at is this concept of informal mentoring. Tell us what that means and what it looks like and what benefits come out of that.
Well, over the next couple of days, we'll share three big things, but this is one of them, informal mentoring. Now, you've probably heard of mentoring, and mentoring is really powerful, but usually that's an agreement between two people.
It's a formal thing.
Yeah.
Both parties know about it.
Yeah, that's right. And I might say, Jason, can you be my mentor? I'd love you to be my mentor, and let's meet once a week at the coffee shop or whatever, and we have that sit down, and that's that formal agreement, mentoring. But informal mentoring is very different to that. And in fact, the mentee, the person receiving that mentoring, may not even know what is happening. Now, it's, in a sense, I as an individual look out for 3 or 4 younger people to actually invest in their life some way. And in the church setting, it could be that we support them in the things they're doing in their life. You know, like they might be into sport, so I show an interest in what they're doing. I might go and watch them play on a Sunday, you know, bring the family along and watch them play. So it's a connection where I start to intentionally discover 3 or 4 younger people that are younger generation and start to work with them to help them in their life, I guess. And I have wanted that for my own children. There's times when I have actually given a phone call to someone and said, hey, I need a bit of help here. Can you do some of that informal mentoring for me? And they've done it. And that's really powerful. And that's what we're really talking about. And in the church setting, it really works well. We have many around Australia, many Pathfinder clubs, which are a bit like Scouts, where 10 to 15-year-olds are involved with leaders. They go and do all sorts of things, outdoors and community service and learn. But that is actually a real opportunity for that informal mentoring to take place. And
it can look like, I guess, or be can take the form in many different ways. For example, I think both of us have a bit of an interest in sound engineering, sound mixing and doing PA stuff. And it could just be taking a younger person under your wing and training them up and showing a bit of an interest.
Very much so.
Yeah. And I guess it's just a matter of watching out for people who show a bit of an interest in an area and inviting them to participate and contribute to things like that.
Well, just this morning, I was up in Scottsdale, in the north part of Tasmania, and they have a program called Stormco, which is Service to Others Really Matters. And there are like 4 key adults that are there, and there's about 21 young people.
That's amazing.
And they are taking them on an 8-day journey to do things in the community. Like they did a kids program this morning while I was there. It was amazing to watch. But the leaders are actually informally mentoring the 21 that are there. And that process is taking place.
And those 21-year-olds start at what age? Sorry, not those 21.
Yeah.
What age range are they from?
We're usually from about 15. Right. We try not to go much younger than that. We're year 9 and up is usually where they come from. But there would have been probably a few that were closer to 20, but most between the 16, 17 sort of age bracket. And you could watch them stepping up, and you see the leaders sort of getting behind them and just encouraging, and very good to watch. But that's the kind of thing we're talking about, supporting, getting in, really helping that younger generation to step up.
So how does that help the individual? How does that help the person, the young person?
Well, you know what? If you're going to get smashed down, it's not going to help you much, is it? And society.
When you say smashed down, you mean like criticised?
Just broadly. People say, or just discount with the body language, because it doesn't have to even say anything, but the younger person might try to do something. It's not real successful. And so the body language tells them everything, that you're not really doing a good job here and you're not really wanted, and so off you go, even though I didn't say a word. So that kind of thing is not going to really help in any setting, church or not. So we need to make sure that, particularly in the church setting, that we stand for the Christian ideals. Why not get in and support and mentor? And I guess Jesus was a good example of that with the 12. That's what he did every day.
Yeah. And of course, Jesus' disciples messed up a few times.
Yeah, more than once.
But he was patient with them.
Yes.
And so as a young person gets involved and they contribute to, I guess, in many cases, there'll be some form of leadership responsibilities in that as well, as they're being mentored and they become capable of doing things. Is it important for the older, what do you call them, mentors, I guess, the informal mentors, to take on board and listen to what the younger people are contributing? Because sometimes as older people, we think we know everything.
Yes, that's true.
We've been around the block,
and rightly so, we have. But when we started as a 17-year-old, we hadn't been around the block, and we were pretty green, if that's a word you want to use. We just didn't get it. But you can all think back to somebody who actually did that informal mentoring to us. And I think back into my life, there was a guy that did it really well. His name was Russell, and he just put into my life when I was 16 and I was starting to struggle with that whole church life thing. And he could see that. He was very observant, and he got me involved in riding motorbikes because he knew I loved it. So his informal mentoring went through a fun process, and for us it really worked. For me, it really worked.
So being involved, getting younger people involved, getting to know them, hearing their ideas and their thoughts, and then even getting them to carry out some of those things that they've contributed. How ultimately what does it do to that young person in the long run? You look back and you say, well, that helped me. How did it help you? What ultimately is the benefit for this concept of informal mentoring?
So many things in life seem to destroy our self-esteem, and this is the opposite of that. This actually builds us up as individuals.
If it's done well.
If it's done well. And you know, that individual may not even do it correctly, but that's not the point, really.
They're having a go.
It's having a go, and how do we deal with that? Because my job is as the informal mentor is not to
flatten them.
Yeah, it's actually to build them up and encourage them on what they did well, and if there's things that we can learn together, well, it's taking them on that journey without being destructive.
There's a couple of Bible verses here that I think relate very well to what we've been talking about here. In 1 Timothy 4 verse 12, it says, "Don't let anyone think of you less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." And I think this was advice from Paul to Timothy, who must have been a younger person.
He was.
So Paul mentored Timothy.
Very much so. And that process had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But Timothy became, I believe, a real solid adult.
Absolutely. And there's another one here where Paul's writing to church leaders, teachers and pastors, and he says here in Ephesians 4 verse 12, their responsibility, that's the teachers and preachers, is to equip God's people to do his work and build up the church, the body of Christ. It's not
building
to knock
up,
it down.
Building up.
It's to build it up.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up today. Tomorrow we're going to have a look at how faith works in young people's lives, and it's a complex world. And is faith actually beneficial to young people? Why are we trying to engage them, particularly in faith communities? And we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail tomorrow. But right now, we've got our book offer, so stay tuned for that.
This program is made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.
Our book offer today is Dare to Connect with Others by Niku Dumbrava. And in fact, this is written by many people, including our very own Jeff Parker here, who wrote one of the chapters. Have you been wondering how to connect with others? Dare to Connect with Others is all about bridging gaps, cultural, background, even religious. Through this book, you'll encounter diverse stories and experiences shared by different voices. And here's a neat touch sprinkled throughout are QR codes that lead to personal testimonies that will truly inspire you. This little book offers 13 perspectives on how to connect with people of different backgrounds and faith traditions. So text us in, TEM66 to 0488 880 891. That's TEM66. Text that into 0488 880 891. Do join us again tomorrow, where we look at faith in a complex world. This is The Girl I Am by Janessa Butters.
Sometimes I feel so young in my Father's arms, but He shows me how. He knows who I'll become, 'cause He sees the heart of who I am now. I don't need to rush or wait for my future. He knows I'm strong enough, and He has a plan for the girl I am. And when I feel His love, it opens my eyes to all that I have. And it's like waking up, knowing my part, right where I stand. I don't need to rush or wait for my future. He knows I'm strong enough, and He has a plan He knows I'm strong enough, and he has a plan for the girl I am.
This program has been made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.